Hey everyone, Ryan Dabrowski here. I'm going to talk to you today about one of the newer features that EdPuzzle offers. It's the EdPuzzle Live feature where you could show a video in class live and students can answer questions while the video is playing live in your class. So I think this is a really nice tool that replaces sort of the archaic showing a video in class with worksheet questions. This sort of replaces that in that it's a way for teachers to use EdPuzzle to assess students, to gather real-time data live, and then to have that data stored to assess that data later on. So what I want to do today is show you how to set up an EdPuzzle live, how to run one in a class, and then what kind of data you could receive afterwards to use to inform your instruction. So to make an EdPuzzle, I just want to review, it's the same process as if you were to make a normal EdPuzzle, where you find a YouTube video and you could search for it. So I just searched a crash course video on the heart here. And as always, you could cut. And by cut, I mean you could shorten it or cut out pieces that you don't want your students to watch to save time. You could also do a voiceover if needed, if you prefer to do a voiceover. Some videos are blocked for doing a voiceover, so it really has to be your own video to do that. And then the most important feature here for us, I think, is the questions. So you have three types of questions you could put into an EdPuzzle: a multiple choice, an open-ended, and a note, which a note would just be a way to give students either a hint or clarification on a concept brought up in the video. So I'm just going to add a question here just to show you. So if you want the question to come up at a certain time, you just want to play the video and pause it at that time. I'm just going to add one here at the beginning. How many chambers does a heart have? You put a couple of choices in here. You want to make sure that the correct one, you put the green check mark, and then you could save it. And then I am also going to add an open-ended question, another different assessment tool. So now those questions are saved in here. Those questions will appear for the students live. And when you're done editing, you want to press finish. And in order to play this live for your students, the first thing you need to do is assign it to a class. So I'm going to assign it to my Human Anatomy E-Block class. You could make a due date if you'd watch, which when we're doing it live, that's not super necessary. You could turn on closed captions if you prefer. I'm going to assign. And then down here where you see go live, that is the option to do an EdPuzzle live. When you click go live, it gives you directions, which is nice to remind you what to do. And then here it's going to list all your students' names. And so when a student joins, it's going to change color so you know they logged on to their EdPuzzle. So it's not like they need to type in a code or anything. They need to actually go onto the EdPuzzle account and log in. So now you see here that in my dummy account, Amy Student, I logged in on a separate screen. So you can see that the name changes color, the font changes color when that student is live. And when you're ready to go live, you would press start. And you have control over this section where when you press the play button, obviously the video is going to play. And then when the questions come up, it's going to come up not only on this screen, but also on the screen of the student. So whether they're logged in on a Chromebook or an iPad or a cell phone, they will see the question on both their screen and the screen on the projector so they can answer it. And again, this is a great tool for us currently when we have some students who are remote and some students in person. This is a way to assess our understanding of a video real time, despite what method of learning they are currently operating under. And then when you're done with the live video, you would go to this screen, which is the gradebook, which you could assess the students' answers and take a look at what they said. So obviously I only had one student login on my separate screen. So you could click the student's name and you could see what they answered. And then if you remember, I did an open-ended answer. So you have their answer here. So I asked, what's one takeaway you had after watching this video? And the student said, I learned how the heart pumps oxygenated blood to the body. And you could add in a comment. You could put in a grade, a right or wrong, and send that feedback back to the student so the student can see how they did on those assessment questions. So I think this is a really great tool on how to use EdPuzzle in a different mode, in a live mode in class that can engage both our in-person and our remote learners. If you have any questions on how to do an EdPuzzle live in your class, please feel free to reach out to myself or Amy Ferrati. We'll be glad to help. Thanks for watching.